recently we got the first 5 minutes revealed at CinemaCon of James Gunn upcoming Superman movie. And that bit we got in the post trailer where we saw him crash, we saw Superman crash to Earth and lie there in the Yamcha style there, and then he called over Krypto. Apparently, that's going to be the first 5 minutes of the opening of the movie. I've not let, I mean that's what we've been told. Never know, it might change depending on what they decide to do. But that's most likely looking at to be the first 5 minutes of the movie. And people are divided on it. Now, I made it very clear I was not a big fan of the trailer. The part where he saved the little girl there, the way he do it, he might accidentally break the child's neck, but I'm just saying, the way he did it, that wasn't bad. There was little elements in there that fine, but I have had a issue with this movie for a while. I think it's way too over bloated and stuff, and I am worried. But that first 5 minutes that we saw there with Krypto showing up and jumping all over him and all kind of thing like that, a lot of people are speculating that James Gunn might be banking on Krypto to save this movie, and that could be a big mistake. But we shall see on that. But let's get into this info here that we have. First article comes from Bounding into Comics. CinemaCon's sneak peek at Superman shows us more Krypto, but not every reaction is overjoyed about the super pet's place in the movie. Yeah, people are worried and they are concerned. The 5 minute Superman teaser was unveiled at CinemaCon. It shows the aftermath of the Man of Steel, played by David Corenswet, crash landing in the attic, all in the attic, all beat up and whistling for Krypto. Yeah, him lying there in Yamcha pose. We meet the androids of the Fortress of Solitude. Yeah, we also got to see the androids were there whom James Gunn has imbued with a sort of chatty personality all the creatures in his Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy have. Because yeah, when the robots come out and they pick him up, he says thank you, and then they tell him that you don't have to thank us. We have no confidence. And then they have the one robot there who laughed at me and he smiled at me and all kind of thing. It's a bit too on the nose. If you want to have them as robots, you have them as robots. When you give them this kind of giggly, gaggly personality, it starts to be reminiscent of Guardians of the Galaxy, and that's kind of the thing. The nurse swooped back to help with lenses focusing sunlight directly onto him, which is the clip's main story. Now, as they say, he drops to the ground there, he's beat up and bloody. Krypto drags him there, he meet the androids, they take him into the city Fortress of Solitude, rise up and all kind of thing and open up, which I didn't find look bad. The Fortress of Solitude rising up and opening up, that actually looked cool. Then they had to check him and they say he have multiple broken bones and all kind of thing. And people were laughing at speculating, Krypto must be doing and the way he was jumping all over and thing like that. Yeah. And then you see at the final when they focus the sunlight on him, you see him screaming and all kind of thing while they're holding him down because the bones cracking back into place. People were like, that didn't seem very Superman like at all. I even heard one person saying that, they keep trying to humanize Superman a little too much, and that has been the problem. And that might very well be the so, but like I say, people are divided on it. It strikes a balance between humor and seriousness, much like we heard from the test screening reactions. Krypto tries to play and jumps on Superman while he's hurting in a scene being compared to the Silver Age by some. Yeah, a lot of people are saying that, most of the injury Superman got was from Krypto. That's the thing. But this is where it starts to get a little, as I say, people are divided, and it looks like people are speculating might very well be so that James Gunn is banking on Krypto to save this movie. Because remember, he didn't make a premiere at PuppyCon, so that might be something, right? They're going to say others are finding Krypto cute, which has to be a good sign for Gunn and DC. When the idea of putting the super dog in a movie was a corny bridge too far afield for the 50s TV series and the Christopher Reeve films. And at least one person is thrilled to see him in the new movie. You might even say it's a dream come true for the guy in question, writer Mark Waid. Oh, great. I never thought I'd live that long. I really didn't, he said to CBR. But the beauty of the fact that people have embraced crypto just from that trailer appearance makes my heart so warm and so full. Wade added that that relationship between a boy and his dog or a man and his dog, regardless of their level of superpowers, is really special. It's something that really humanizes Superman. I'm anxious to see how they play out. He might be impressed, but not all share his outlook as much as you may think. You see, what I'm saying? I don't have a problem with crypto once he's done well in a movie. But if you're banking on crypto to be a playful puppy that kind of wins everybody's heart, and the rest of the movie isn't so good, but you hope people just really like crypto, so that's what they go with. That is a problem. That is a problem. A new reaction from a test screening leaked to World of Real says to the contrary, that crypto hinders the movie more than he helps. Oh boy. I thought it was a real mixed bag. The audience reaction was mixed to negative. The World of Real Writers' trusted source began. A genuinely earnest comic book movie in the sense that it plays out as a week with Superman, when he's at a crossroads about what his purpose is, with scandals about him plaguing the media and his relationships being tested by the boundaries between being Clark and Superman. One thing I did find a bit confusing was how big a part crypto was to the film. Now here's the thing, and this is the thing. You say it plays out as a week in the life of Superman. But you also say that he's at that crossroads about what his purpose is, and scandals plaguing the media and his relationships being tested by boundaries between being Clark and Superman. Shouldn't that be something you have put in like a second movie? His first movie should have been Superman. That's what you should have done. That's the whole thing about it. Maybe if you wanted to play out in the second movie, you could have done that. But to put that in the first movie, and like I say, it's a movie that's already heavily bloated with Campbell, with a whole bunch of characters. And you're saying that Superman is the movie plays out as a week with Superman, and he's at a crossroads as to about what his purpose is, scandals, and immediately, because you literally saw him walking in, talking to some people, people cheer, when people like jarring at him and throwing things at him like that. So you're wondering what in the hell is really going on here. Even if this is a movie where you already have Superman established in there, it's kind of weird to do that in a first movie. But then they go on here to say that, one thing I did find a bit confusing was how big a part crypto was to the film. And this is where I'm talking about where James Gunn might really be banking on having crypto save this movie. He debuted the movie at PuppyCon. You understand me? Not even only Puppy Bowls, I mean PuppyCon at Puppy Bowl. No, not even Super Bowl. They debuted it at Puppy Bowl. Right? You're making a big deal about the fact that crypto is in the movie. You're constantly telling people that. The trailer itself divided people already. Some people really liked it, some people didn't. I wasn't a big fan of it. I thought it kind of came off as super depressed, man, but that's just me. And now you get a 5 minutes of the opening of the movie, which we assume is that we don't know, we don't know if we're going to change anything like that. And it's Superman crashing to Earth, calling Krypto over, who jumps all over him and probably mash up some things that wasn't already mashed up, and then drags into the Waters of Solitude. Krypto's kind of having a big deal in the movie, and it most likely is gonna be in the movie more. So that's kind of a worrying thing there, honestly. Continue on here. He brings human heart, but it's almost jarring at times how much it feels like a Superman crypto movie. Yeah? See what I'm saying? The action felt a little lackluster, but I'm not sure if that's because I've been oversaturated with comic book CGI slug, but the set pieces at least looked interesting. There's definitely a lot going on for a movie that's 2 hours, they reported. Now, here's the thing, right? I don't always agree with too much CGI in something. In the case of Superman, you're going to need some CGI because he's Superman, you're going to get that. But you don't always need to be on some green screen or something like that. Most of the time, you could literally have set pieces and work with that. If you kind of tone down your CGI a bit and just kind of work with with what you can do, it could be good. And they also say here that that there's a lot going on for a movie that's 2 hours. We've gotten information that apparently they have cut out 20 minutes of the movie. And apparently James Gunn wasn't too happy about it, but they cut out 20 minutes of the movie. So that is something already there. So 20 minutes of the movie is gone. We don't know what it is. I heard some rumor that it might have been something to do with, I think it's Jimmy Olsen or something like that. I'm not certain, but that's just one of the rumors that I have heard in regards to. So they've cut out 20 minutes of the movie already. So it's down to an hour and 40 minutes or something. So about that, maybe an hour, a little more than an hour and 40 minutes probably for the movie. But again, that's time for a lot of stuff in there. There's a lot of people in this movie. A good amount of table setting, very much in the vein of the MCU. I really wanted to like it. I quite like Gunn's last two movies, but this felt like a mix of both, with the charm lacking a bit. World of Real adds that no one who went to this test screening they spoke to had a positive reaction to Superman, which was allegedly still a work in progress and was still kind of a mess. So we got some poking food there in regards to it. Now, again, as I said, so James Gunn might very well be banking on crypto to lead the movie. Because when you look at this article here from Cosmic Book News, it says here, watch Superman sneak peek crypto take us home. I'd be banking on it. They talk about how he stuff like that and crypto. The scene gives us more context on the first trailer. It sort of shows off the automatons in the Fortress of Solitude. Regarding cryptocurrency, what recently offered crypto can be more trouble than he's worth, as seen in the footage. You know what is when he says he is he loves dogs as you most as you know most people do, but crypto, as James has described, as the worst dog in the world with superpowers. So he's always destroying the Fortress of Solitude and hunting wildlife and just always getting into trouble, never listening. And although there's a great love and affection between Superman and Krypto, it's honestly more trouble than it's worth. That's what I got a problem with. I think Krypto shouldn't be portrayed, and I think Krypto should be a bit more composed as a dog. He is a dog, you're gonna bark, you're gonna roll out and stuff like that. No problem with it. But he should be a little more composed. When you see that clip now, Superman's lying there bleeding and Krypto jumping all over him and pulling and hitting and thing, probably finish mash up some bones and stuff there. So that's a bit concerning. That is a bit concerning. Now, again, as they say here, and if you just look at some of the people in this movie, yeah, you have Superman, Lois Lane, yeah, you have Lex Luthor, you have Mr. Terrific, you have Guy Gardner, you have Hawk Girl, you have the people from the some people from the Authority, you have Maxwell Lord, all of this in just one movie. It's a lot for a movie. So I'm telling you, the most likely banking on James Gunn will be banking on people loving crypto so much, and that they decide that well, we're going to just give this a try and see what's going on. But if this movie doesn't work and it's just let me just play on crypto like that, that's going to be a very rude awakening for James Gunn and this, because they need this movie to do good to work on anything else. So they got to do something there in regards to it. But like I say, it's still to be seen. We never know. The final cut might come out and the movie might very well still be really good. I do hope so. Like I said before, I am hoping that this turns out to be a very good movie. I really would like it to be a very good movie. I'm just going to have to wait and see what happens with it. But at this point, it's looking suspiciously like James Gunn is banking on crypto to save this movie. You'll see what happens there. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. If you have a different opinion, I'd love to hear it. If you like, really hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Ring the notification bell to be notified every time I upload a new video. And I shall see you all next time. Take care.